Welcome to BCIS 1305 at Amarillo College. I'd like to take a few minutes here to just kind of walk you through the class, show you how it works, and then your instructors will probably give you more information. The first thing I want to show you guys have already clicked on this orientation video. Go over here to what's called the Start Here menu. In the Start Here menu, you're going to see this orientation video is repeated, so you can always come back and look at it. Here in the assignment checklist, when you open that up, it'll open up, it's a PDF document. And once it opens, what you'll see is that each week is going to be listed out. Within the week, you'll see what week it's applying to, and that what day everything is going to be due. Okay. Each week is also going to have a type of lesson here, and you'll find that those types, the key to the assignments, are down here where it says intro concepts and what those are worth, how many of those there are. So your key to the assignments is down here in the lower right corner. Every week you'll have a series of assignments and they'll be listed out. They'll also be listed in your to-do list in Blackboard. But here on the assignment checklist, really recommend you print this out, put it in your notebook, and then just mark off the ones that you've done. We've got a little check mark location out there for you to make that a little bit easier for you as you go through the course. The next thing you have here is a systems requirements test. If you have any concerns about whether your computer is working the way it needs to run SimNet, that's available to you there. SimNet is going to be one of the two learning management systems that you're using for it. You're going to be able to create that SimNet account in week 1, and there'll be a little bit more information. Really, you just go in and you click on a link and go through the process. Those of you that are having issues getting your books from the AC bookstore, they have been out of those codes, but hopefully they'll have those back in shortly. And once you get the code from the AC bookstore, or you can actually, once you log into the SimNet system, even if you get the temporary access, you can actually buy the code directly from SimNet. So there's a couple of different ways you can get those. This is a custom textbook, so you can't get it like on Amazon or anything like that. It says here on the Getting Started, you want to click on the course syllabus link. We'll do that here in a few minutes, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Key thing you want to make sure that you're going to be doing is you have to have a paid version of Microsoft 365 or Office 2019 in order to do the homework for this class. Okay. Free versions of Microsoft 365 don't work. Previous versions of Office, Google Docs, things like that are not compatible with this class. So you will need to get a copy of that as well. Chromebooks do not work for the class. However, you can use either a Windows-based PC or a Mac computer. Either one will be fine. So just kind of thinking about as you're going through what you need to do. Some more information here on discussions and etiquette. Here's a list of those category weights again to tell you how your grade's going to be calculated. And at the bottom of this Getting Started section, we do have a link out to Microsoft. This screenshot shows you here it's only $7 a month to get the Microsoft subscription. That's $14. This class lasts 8 weeks, so that's 2 months. And this link right here, Explore Options with Microsoft, is where you'll need to go in order to get to that Microsoft page. At the end of the 2 months, you can cancel your subscription, and then you wouldn't have to worry about paying for it any longer. Okay, let's take a quick look at the course syllabus. This is actually the course syllabus for my class. My name's Delane McCune. And so you'll see that your instructor will have their own syllabus up, has it lists their hours, the various information from the college. The key thing you want to look at, this, like I said earlier, this is a custom textbook with Word, Office, and Excel. So you'll want to go ahead and ensure you do get that either from the Amarillo College bookstore or directly from the SimNet link in Blackboard. Okay. Have to have that Microsoft 365 or Office 2019. Can't use any of those free versions. Do want to make sure that you get a USB flash drive or have access to some kind of cloud storage, because you'll want to make sure you hang on to copies of your homework just in case there's any issue with the systems, and can show that you've actually done the work. Okay. Again, all work is going to be completed online. You have to have an internet connection or be able to access one. Everything is going to be done online. Okay. again, you can use a Mac for the course. All of the Amarillo College campuses have computers. The main computer lab is the underground on the Washington Street campus, but all other campuses do have the correct software to do this course. I'll let you go ahead and read through the student performance on your own. Expected student behavior. We are very particular about students not cheating. We do not want you to be pulling in files from anyone else, and we can monitor that in the SimNet system. It'll tell us if you've got any part of somebody else's file in your upload. Okay, and if that does happen, we have no issues with kicking you out of the class and things like that. Just want to make sure we say that we've had some issues with that in the past. Okay, here we have the grading schema, and again, those weights. On some of the types of projects, you get 2 attempts here. It says on SimNet projects. And we do take the higher grade for that. And we also take 1 attempt on the capstones and the integrated final application. On the intro concepts and SimBook lessons, usually those are unlimited, so won't be any issue with those. All of your week 1 work is going to be due at the end of the first week on January 23rd. We do that in order to ensure students get a good start in the class. If you don't complete all of the week 1 work, we typically administratively drop the student from the course, okay? You need to check your email daily. We will be using your @amarillocollege.com address. So I know you guys get a lot of information there, but make sure that you're checking that for information from your instructor, okay? We don't accept late work in the course, so make sure you're doing everything. Recommend you get a planner of some kind and just write down what's due when, and keep that assignment checklist handy for yourself. Okay? 8 to 10 hours a week is kind of the amount that we expect students to see. It's really not an exaggeration. You have a lot of online work to do. I mean, you're learning about new software. You're learning about computers. If you have some experience with some of these software programs, it may be, the lower end of that, but you're still going to need to make sure that you're allocating enough time. Also, usually students don't do as well when they do it all in one sitting. Highly recommend you work on it throughout the week. It'll be much more successful for you. Again, all assignments are going to be due on Sundays during weeks 1 through 7, and they're due on Thursday of week 8, which is going to be March 10th. Here's just a little bit more that kind of tells you what information you're going to be covering each week, and a little bit about calendar and information. Okay, so that kind of walks you through the syllabus. In the content area, when you first come into the class, you have this orientation video here. You'll notice that you only see week 1. All of the content for your class actually is already out there, but we found that students get overwhelmed when they see everything, so it's actually up to the student to look at the next week. So you see here it says click Mark Reviewed to open week 2. So right here you'll click Mark Reviewed, and that'll actually open up the next week for you. And then when you click Mark Reviewed on week 2, that'll open up week 3. If you've accidentally opened up a week and you don't want it open, you can always come back and click where it says Reviewed. And I've got a little message up here that says, are you sure you want to do that? And I'm saying okay, and that took that review off of that particular week. So again, that is up to the students to do that. Okay. Inside of each folder, you're going to have a to-do up here at the top that tells you what you need to do for a given week. The first week, you need to go through your course syllabus. It is required that students get a 100 on their course syllabus quiz. So you need to take that as many times as necessary in order to get 100. You have a contact information form that you have to access with your Google email address that the college gives you, and we want that information to be able to get a hold of students. And then you have an introduce yourself to your classmates, really a nice way to kind of get to know everybody. And then you'll need to respond to a couple of those classmates. Here's a little bit on registration help, and then here's your first SimNet lessons. First thing you got to do is create that account. Click on that, and it'll be able to take you out. I can't click on it because I'm a faculty member. It'll look different. But when you click on it, it'll link the Blackboard student account with the SimNet account, and you'll fill out the information and be able to get what you need. Okay, and then you'd work through these 2 lessons during that first week. Okay, so again, in content, each week you're going to kind of have that information. This area here, Meet Your Instructor, will tell you about your instructor for the course. Ask the instructor is a real quick way for you to ask questions of the instructor, kind of like raising your hand in class. Everybody can access that discussion board, and it's a good way to kind of get a quick answer. SimNet Help gives you some information on how the SimNet system works if you're having trouble with your browsers, a little bit about how you work the lessons. Here's some couple of videos that are out there from the author of the textbook and how you can kind of walk through it. And then some registration. If you happen to purchase 3 codes at the bookstore before they ran out, this is kind of how you can go in and use it. It's supposed to be 1 code in the new system. Okay. All right. And then announcements, you're going to see those every week. Usually your instructor is going to be sending out announcements. So you want to sure and check that announcements area. And then you've got an area here for your grades and sending email. If you want to send an email to your instructor, just hit that send email. And you can either hit here all instructor users, or you can go in to select users and find your instructor's email address. The rest of this you may or may not use throughout the semester. We do hope you fill out your course survey when the time comes. Okay. If there's anything you have questions on, please feel free to reach out to your instructor. We're all here to help, and we hope you have a great semester.